Princess Peach's third greatest adventure. The sun rose over Shroomeria, the land formerly known as the Mushroom Kingdom. Its light greeted everyone who wished to meet the new day. Peach, the former princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, was not quite ready to start her day. The light shined through the bedroom window of her hilltop cottage, gently waking her from her slumber. Peach rubbed her eyes and rolled over in her bed. She wrapped her arm around Daisy, the former princess of Sarasaland, and pulled herself close. Peach slowly buried her face in Daisy's hair. She listened intently to Daisy's peaceful breathing, allowing it to lull her into a state of half-sleep. Time seemed to pass by so slowly, and yet so quickly as well. Daisy's body stretched slightly, and then relaxed. She slowly turned to face Peach.
"Good morning, my love,"
whispered Daisy, sleepily. "Good morning, my darling," replied Peach. They nuzzled their noses together and stared into each other's eyes. Peach weaved her fingers through Daisy's hair and slowly pulled her face closer. They kissed a slow morning kiss.
"Isn't it bad luck to kiss me before our wedding?"
asked Daisy, a faint laugh in her voice. "I think it's supposed to be bad luck to see you before the wedding," replied Peach. "But would you have wanted to wake up without me here next to you?"
"Definitely not,"
said Daisy.
"I guess we'll just have to make our own luck today."
The two of them got out of bed and dressed for the day. Peach wore a knee-length pink dress, the color broken up by a white belt around her waist. The dress had nothing near the amount of frills and volume of the regal dresses she used to wear, nor was it anywhere close to as restrictive as they had been. Daisy wore a yellow plaid shirt and loose-fitting overalls. She preferred the comfort of loose clothes, especially when working out in their garden. Peach went to the stove and prepared their breakfast, fluffy omelets filled with red peppers, spinach, and so much cheddar cheese. Peach had become quite an accomplished cook during her time with Daisy, with breakfast foods such as this being her favorite to prepare. As Daisy was scrubbing the dishes, she suddenly perked up.
"I just realized,"
she said,
"it's only bad luck to see me in my wedding dress before the wedding."
"Well," said Peach, walking up behind Daisy, "I guess we don't have to worry about any bad luck at all." She wrapped her arms around Daisy's waist. "I do still hope we make our own good luck, though. You never can have enough." Peach gave Daisy a quick kiss on the cheek, and then rested her head on Daisy's shoulders. She loved the feeling of Daisy's arms rising and falling as the dishes were cleaned. After the dishes were cleaned and put away, the two exited their home and started their walk towards Toad Town. They slowly traveled down the dirt road, hand in hand. Eventually, they found themselves walking through the town's plaza. Many of the citizens greeted them and gave congratulations as they passed. They continued their stroll until they reached what had formerly been the castle of the Mushroom Kingdom. Peach's last act as princess had been to start the process of converting the castle into a living center for the residents of her former kingdom. The building now provided rooms and recreational facilities to those who needed them. The living center was always filled with people happily communing with their neighbors. When it had been a castle, one could walk the long halls for many minutes, and encounter only the echoes of their footsteps. Now, there was always a friendly face to greet you, a neighbor to chat with, or a community event to attend. Today, however, was the rare occasion when the center was quiet and empty. Peach and Daisy were greeted by two toads. They were each guided down separate corridors towards their respective dressing rooms. As she changed clothing, Peach reflected on the process of planning their wedding. She and Daisy had many long discussions about a great many things: who to invite, what food should be served, what type of floral arrangements should be present, how the seating needed to be organized, etc. The one topic that had required no discussion was the venue. There really could not have been a better place to be married. The building was where their relationship had started, where many changes had been made, and where the monarchy had ended. Out on the front lawn of the living center, the guests waited eagerly. The backs of their chairs were turned towards the entrance to the castle, but everyone still eagerly looked behind at the closed doors. Perhaps most eager of all was Rosalina. She stood behind the altar awaiting the two brides. It was an immense point of pride for her to have been asked to officiate the wedding. Her dress consisted of many layers of deep blue and purple fabric. As the garment gently fluttered in the wind, the many silver stars that adorned it glistened and became visible as they caught the sunlight. The heavy doors swung open. Daisy stepped out onto the aisle, arm-linked with Luigi. Luigi slowly led her to the altar. Daisy had chosen a simple wedding dress, no frills, no lace, and very few layers. The white garment loosely hugged her form, and the skirt subtly pleated and curved outward as it reached her ankles. Once they reached the altar, Luigi left Daisy and took his seat in the front row, next to his brother. Daisy glanced back at the open doors. Slowly, a pointed shoe came into view. While Luigi stepped into the light, his slicked back hair and bright purple suit was rather garish, but somehow he managed to pull off the look. He straightened his tie, and then stepped aside to make way for his charge. Peach stepped onto the aisle. She was clothed in a billowing, white wedding dress, one that was far more elegant and beautiful than any of the regal dresses she had worn before. The many layers of silk and lace folded in on themselves to form elegant ruffles. The skirt reached all the way to the ground, and formed a long train behind her. It was as though a cloud had descended from the very heavens themselves to carry Peach to the altar. A small veil draped down from the top of Peach's head, obscuring her face just slightly. Peach glanced towards Waluigi, and they linked arms. Waluigi led Peach to the altar with a massive smile beaming across his face. Despite the fact that this was someone else's wedding, one might easily believe that it was the happiest day of Waluigi's life. Peach took her place at the altar, in front of her bride-to-be. She pulled back her veil. Peach noticed tears starting to form in the corners of Daisy's eyes, and felt the same welling in hers. She blinked her tears away, and gave a nervous smile to Daisy. Daisy smiled back.
Dearly beloved,
began Rosalina.
we are gathered here today to witness the marriage between Peach of Shroomeria and Daisy of Sarasaland. Both of them were once rulers of their home nations, and then heralds of great changes. Did they? They are here to start a new chapter in their lives, not as princesses, nor as leaders, but as two wives, bound together for all eternity? Before we continue, I have been informed that they have chosen to write their own vows. Daisy, if you are ready?
Peach, began Daisy.
I have.
A crack of thunder cut Daisy's words short. Dark clouds began circling overhead until the sky was completely cloaked. As the crowd screamed, Peach wondered to herself if perhaps it really had been bad luck to see the bride at all before the wedding.
Wah ha 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 ha,
cackled Bowser, descending from the sky in his clown copter.
have we gotten to the part where I get to object? Peach, you're getting married today, but there ain't no way it'll be to that filthy plumber. You're gonna be mine, princess, and not even Mario can. Why? What's Daisy doing here in a wedding dress? Is there some kind of double wedding going on?
During Bowser's monologue, Mario and Luigi had sprung into action, ready to defend against the intruder. Peach motioned for them to stand down. Bowser, sighed Peach. Honestly, I would have hoped that you would have at least read the invitation for the wedding you planned to crash. It said in big, bold letters that the wedding was between myself and Daisy. Bowser paused for a moment, his face making it very clear that he was struggling to process what Peach had said. Finally, he spoke.
Bride or groom, it doesn't matter. You will be mine, princess. Today will be the day that
I'm not the princess anymore, interrupted Peach. In truth, I don't think I ever was.
What do you mean you're not the princess?
Asked Bowser, confusion plastered across his face. This place has changed, Bowser, explained Peach. The Mushroom Kingdom is no more. Shroom area is a place of democracy, and it has no room for royalty or rulers. The people here have been trying to contact you. They wanted to extend the olive branch, to start anew. You never responded to their letters, and you sent away their messengers. They asked me to invite you here, hoping you'd listen to reason if the words came from me.
Then,
Pondered Bowser.
this land is mine for the taking. My army can invade, and no one will be able to stop me. Bowser's kingdom will expand, and soon the whole world will fall under my rule.
You'd attack the innocent? Asked Peach. You'd attack the people who have been trying to make peace with you? For what? Land? Territory? Glory? Is that really what you want?
My kingdom has always been at war with the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yelled Bowser.
It is my destiny to rule,
And the Mushroom Kingdom is no more, stated Peach, firmly. What kind of a leader are you? What kind of a father are you? Is this the example you want to set? Do you want your son to know nothing beyond an endless crusade? And when you grow too old for conquest, do you expect him to take up the same never-ending war?
Bowser
stammered.
This is what my people need. We've fought for too long to just give up.
Is that what they need? Peach questioned. The people of Shroomeria need food, shelter, and to live healthy and happy lives. They are working hard to make a world where that is provided, and they want to invite you and your people to that world. Do your people really desire conquest more than peace? Do they care about the glory of their kingdom over their health and safety? Do they wish to destroy others' families instead of building up their own?
I don't know.
Bowser relented.
My brain hurts from all of this. I need time to think.
Please, said Peach, gently, stay for the wedding. Enjoy the ceremony. Talk with the guests. See what the people have built here in Toad Town. And then when all of this is done, take all that you've learned back home. Speak with your advisors. Speak with your people. Speak with your family. And then you may do what you believe is best.
I will.
Bowser replied. He slowly began walking towards the seats in the back row. Bowser glanced back, about to say something, but then decided it was best to say nothing. He found the seat that had been reserved for him, and sat down. The clouds slowly dissipated, and the sun's light shined once more. Peach returned to her place at the altar. She dusted herself off, and then took Daisy's hands in hers. Now, I believe you are in the middle of something very important, she said to Daisy. Daisy looked back at Bowser, seeing him fidget in his chair as he watched the ceremony. She had watched Peach talk to the people of Shroomeria many times, gently giving advice and guiding them to a solution, but never forcing her will on them. Daisy had always been impressed with how Peach would handle the problems presented to her, but this display had left her completely awestruck. Daisy returned her attention to her fiancé, watching Peach's eyes shimmer with anticipation. Daisy felt confidence well up inside herself, and her voice returned to her.
Peach,
Daisy started.
I have loved you for all the time we have been together. I've loved you since our first kiss. No. I loved you before then, even if I hadn't known it at the time. I'm so happy to have gotten to see all of the wonderful things you've helped to build, and I'm very proud to have helped right alongside you. I never really knew what I wanted us to be. None of the words or labels ever seemed right, so I was happy to just be yours. That all changed in these past few months. I finally knew that I wanted you to be my wife. More importantly, I finally knew that I wanted to be your wife, now and forever.
Daisy felt the tears well up in her eyes. She looked away, trying to hold them back.
I'm sorry,
she said.
I promised I wouldn't cry during the reception.
Peach gently extended her hand to Daisy. She guided Daisy's face back to meet her gaze. Gingerly, she traced a finger up Daisy's cheek, and wiped away her tears. Daisy, Peach began, choking back tears of her own. My life was permanently altered when we first kissed. Before, I lived in a constant haze, not really aware of anything beyond my own muddled thoughts. You gave me the clarity to see what was wrong in my life, and in the kingdom. You gave me the drive to imagine a fairer world. You gave me the strength to make changes for the better. You have shown me immeasurable love and support throughout our time together. Now, I wish to return the favor. Today, I give myself to you, completely. I will love you for all my life, and even further beyond.
You both have shown an unbreakable love for each other,
said Rosalina.
Nothing in the universe could ever have the strength to separate you. Now, through the power vested in me by the very cosmos themselves, I bind the two of you together in matrimony. May the galaxies watch over your marriage, and may the stars shine bright with the light of your love.
The attendees began to cheer. Bowser wept loudly, overtaken by the beauty of their vows.
Wait,
said Daisy.
wasn't she supposed to say something like, "You may now kiss the bride"?
Peach giggled. Since when have we ever needed permission for that? Daisy's eyes met Peach's. Time seemed to slow to a stop. They had kissed many times before, hundreds, if not thousands of kisses. They had kissed in so many ways for so many occasions, and yet the weight of the reception had seemingly erased those memories. Daisy's breath shuddered with anticipation, the same anticipation she had felt for their first kiss. Peach's eyes glistened as she stared back at Daisy. For the first time in a very long time, she had no idea what she should do. She could only gaze expectantly into her wife's eyes. Gently, Daisy pulled Peach in by the waist. Peach wrapped her arms over Daisy's shoulders. Slowly, the distance between them shortened, until finally, their lips interlocked, and their breaths became one. They gripped each other tightly, their passion hot enough to melt the ground beneath their feet. The world melted away around them, as they shared a kiss that would mark the beginning of the rest of their lives.